Hello everybody, this is my 6-ball world record juggling video. I'm Florian Maertz and this is my 6-ball world record, which is 18 minutes and 45 seconds long. And yeah, I thought it's actually pretty boring to watch the whole thing through just like that, so I thought I'd just do a little commentary on the world record and on myself. So to start, I'm Florian Maertz, a juggler from Berlin, Germany. I've been juggling for about 15 years now. I'm doing a lot of sports juggling, but also rings and clubs. I'm always doing a lot of numbers juggling, but I'm also really interested in long endurance runs, as you can see. Lately I've been doing a lot of multiplex stuff. But also a lot of 6-ball endurances. So this is now my 6-ball world record. I've been starting to go for the 6-ball world record a few years ago when I was studying 6-ball endurances. And the previous 6-ball world record is 9 minutes and 17 seconds by Christian Hauschild in 2014. And that is the official 6-ball world record. Then there's also an unofficial 6-ball world record held by Thomas Dietz, which is like 24 minutes. But it's unofficial because there's no video evidence or anything like that. So the previous official 6-ball world record was at 9 minutes and 17 seconds. But on the other hand, when I first started 6-ball endurance, or when I first started to go for the 6-ball world record, there's always been one thing that bothered me about that official world record, because the 7-ball world record held by Ofek Snør at that time is actually higher than the 6-ball world record. So the 7-ball world record by Ofek Snør is 12 minutes and 51 seconds. It was done in 2015. And what really bothered me at that time was that the 7-ball world record is higher than the 6-ball world record. So in my opinion, when Ofek juggled 7 balls for 12 minutes and 51 seconds, then he has also juggled 6 balls for 12 minutes and 51 seconds, in my opinion. There's a site which is called Juggle Wiki with a list of all world records. This is also where my information about world records is based on. And on this website, it actually says the world record must be the actual number used to set the world record. A record set using 11 balls would not be considered the record for 10 balls, even if 10 of the 11 balls were juggled for more catches than the existing 10-ball world record. It's an example which is given here. So what it says is that for a world record, it has to be the exact number of balls juggled for it to be a world record. So, according to this rule, Ofek's 7-ball world record is not, or has never been, the official 6-ball world record. But in my opinion, this doesn't make sense. So in my opinion, it doesn't really make sense, because I think of it this way. If you have, or let's start like this. You can set a 6-ball world record in any pattern. It doesn't have to be a base pattern. Like the 6-ball world record by Christian Hauschild was set in a 7-5-6 pattern, which is a 6-ball side sweep. And in my opinion, not a base pattern. Like a 6-ball base pattern would be like fountain, async fountain or sync fountain or something like that. Or maybe wimpy even, which is what I'm doing. But I think 7-5-6 is definitely not a base pattern, and you don't have to like use a base pattern to break a juggling world record. So if I juggled 6 balls in a 777 7770 pattern for like 10 minutes or whatever amount of time I need to break a world record, then that would still be considered a world record, because it's a valid 6-ball pattern. But then in this 777 7770 pattern, there's always like this gap, there's always this 0. And I could use this 0 like an active 0. So an active 0 is like doing anything with your hand, like clapping your chest or waving your hand, anything like what you could do with your free hand in that gap. And I could juggle 6 balls in a 777 7770 pattern like for 10 minutes or for what time ever I need to break the world record, and consistently doing active 0s, like consistently clapping my chest or anything like that. And that would still be considered a world record. Yeah, so that would be considered a world record. But as soon as I start using those active 0s to throw an object, like to throw a club or a ring, or in that example to throw a ball, like as soon as I use this active 0 to like consistently throw a 7th ball into this pattern, at that very moment it stops being a world record somehow. So like for me, when I see that 7-ball world record, I always see this 777 7770 pattern, and then just the 7th ball like randomly throwing around. And for me, it's like this has to be a world record, but for some reason, if I use this active 0 with throwing a ball, it's not considered a world record. That was what was really confusing me. Like I see that there's this rule. I can see that some people have other opinions on that, but in my opinion, the official 6-ball world record has always been those 12 minutes and 51 seconds by Ofexner, because it just didn't make any sense to like say something else. So actually, when I got my first 6-ball run that was longer than 9 minutes and 17 seconds, that was like 10 minutes or 11 minutes or something like that. That really didn't feel to me like breaking a world record. That was like, I think we're now in like 8 minutes or something. Yeah, so when I did my first run of 10 minutes, 11 minutes or something like that, that didn't feel to me like breaking a world record. It was like, yeah, okay, I've done 10 minutes, I've done 11 minutes, that's cool and everything. But then when I did my first 6-ball run that was longer than 13 minutes, that was actually the time when I felt like breaking a world record, like for the first time. Like that was the first time when I was feeling like yeah, I just broke a world record, because in my opinion, it would always be those 12 minutes and 51 seconds. I think we're close now to 10 minutes, actually, so 8 minutes to go. And yeah, you can actually see that it's getting harder. Like I'm moving a little bit more now, like through the space. I feel like in the beginning when I do this world record, like the first 5 or 10 minutes, I'm like really grounded. Like I don't really move my feet that much, but always like at the ending of the world record, like after 10 minutes or something, I start to move around a little bit more. Yeah. So okay. So all right. let's say, yeah, we had this kind of strange thing of an official world record. So in my opinion, yeah, the previous official world record was 12 minutes and 51 seconds, but now that doesn't matter anymore, really. There's one record left to break, actually, which is the unofficial world record by Thomas Dietz, which is 24 minutes long, as I said. I also want to break this world record, maybe not in the near future, but I want to continue to practice 6-ball endurances and then at some point also break this world record. Like Thomas Dietz once said that in an interview actually with Luke Berridge. I heard that interview, and like he wasn't too sure about his time as well. Like he said something like, yeah, my 6-ball personal best is something like 24-25 minutes. Like he wasn't too sure about his time as well. But I think, yeah, it's probably something about 24-25 minutes. So I feel like if I do like 26 minutes, then I'm fine. Like this my aim to go for like at least 26 minutes, and then I know like I broke all the records. Starting to move a little bit more. All right. So about my pattern, as I said, I'm using the wimpy pattern here. Mainly because wimpy pattern is the easiest for me when it comes to juggle even numbers. Like I'm always using wimpy pattern when I'm doing 8 balls, when I'm doing 10 balls. Just straight away always using wimpy pattern because I'm not really used to fountain pattern. I feel like always when I'm using fountain pattern there will always be some collisions. There will always, or let's say it's very easy in a fountain pattern for collisions to occur. So I felt like the easiest for me is in even numbers is always to use the wimpy pattern because there's less collision. There's also some collisions happening, but really not that much. And I feel like I can really go for really, really long runs in a wimpy pattern. Also with 8 balls, I feel like I couldn't really go over like 50 catches or something with a fountain pattern, but with wimpy I can go like more than 100 catches. It just feels very grounded. It feels very safe in a wimpy pattern. Actually, I always thought that the wimpy pattern is pretty common in juggling, but lately I got asked a lot about this pattern, and now I feel like this pattern isn't really common. Like a lot of people would just use fountains or half showers for even balls, I don't know, for even numbers. But I've always been using wimpy pattern actually. Also, I was a lot inspired by David Furman, who would always use wimpy pattern when he was juggling 8 balls or 10 balls. Like he would always use wimpy pattern. Also, David Furman there was a time when David Furman had the 10-ball world record, which was like 26 catches or something like that. And before that, Bruce Serafian had the 10-ball world record, or held the 10-ball world record. And I think he was also using wimpy pattern back then. Like Bruce Serafian has already been juggling in the 90s, and he had already been using the wimpy pattern back then. So actually I always thought it's a pretty common thing because like all those big jugglers have been using it a lot. But yeah, as I said, I got asked lately a lot about this pattern, and some people don't really seem to know that it exists or wonder how it actually works. Because a wimpy pattern is in side swaps, this pattern would be and brackets 6x, 6x. And mathematically that makes sense, so mathematically it's working as 6x, 6x, but in real life it doesn't really make sense to say it's 6x, 6x, because the balls would collide like in the middle, like always. So I feel like, yeah, mathematically it's working like 6x, 6x, but in reality it should be more like a half shower with a very tiny difference between the throw heights. Like something like 7.5, but really low 7 and really high 5, so that they're almost at the same level and almost thrown at the same time. Something like that. But yeah, for me it's actually just 6x, 6x. This is for me like the easiest way to explain. And yeah, as I said, it feels really easy. It feels like I could go on like this forever. I think for 6 balls, which is also pretty easy for me, is the 7.56 pattern, which Christian was using when he did his 9 minutes and 7 seconds. But yeah, I've been using wimpy pattern for so long now that it's easier for me than the 7.56 pattern. So I don't know, maybe there are some jugglers who are really good at fountain pattern, but in my opinion the easiest, or for me personally, the easiest pattern for 6 balls is wimpy pattern, then 7.56, and then the fountain pattern, or maybe first a real half shower with outside throws, and then a fountain pattern. Because yeah, I feel like 7.56 is a really easy pattern actually. Because for the same reason actually, because there are not so much collisions going on there, and like I also feel like I could hold it forever because no collisions occur. But yeah, I'm not too used to it actually. And then also, yeah, odd numbers are actually always easier, because in a cascade pattern, collisions very rarely collide. So the question would be, I think we're near the end now, something like 18 minutes. Question would be, could it be easy to juggle 6 balls in a 7-7-7, 7-7-7-0 pattern? But I haven't actually tried it yet. I haven't tried to do endurances in that pattern. Maybe that will also be an option. But so say it like this, for me right now, easiest option to juggle 6 ball in a long endurance is always wimpy pattern. I feel like this is the end now. Really getting really hard now. That's the end. Yeah, so that was my world record. And yeah, I hope you liked my video. And that's it for today.